choose to. I'm Dr. Charles Kent. You've tuned into another edition of A Word Fitly Spoken. I want to talk to you today about um, something that is possibly challenging to you and to many. It is the difficulty of recognizing the grace of God, the challenges that we have in recognizing the goodness of God and the grace of God. So let's begin with the example of the great man of God, Paul. This is Second Corinthians. He wants to he wants to validate. He wants to prove himself. He wants to say that I am who I am, etc., etc. And this is all of that. But he says I've gone through some things um, and I've sought God about them, and I've dealt with some things, and I need you to understand. So let's jump into this, and this is Second Corinthians chapter number 12. Uh, it is not expedient for me, doubtless, to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth, such as one caught up in the third heaven. The mindset is that he's about to tell them what he has been through. He's about to discuss some things that he hasn't told a lot of people because they probably would not believe him. And so he begins to tell them this vision, this experience. And then in verse number 7, he says, and lest and least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations, there was given unto me a thorn in the flesh. Paul knows why the thorn is there. Paul knew that this revelation, this thing that God has revealed to me, it can puff me up. It can make me proud. It can make me arrogant. It can make me think that I'm better than so many others. And I got to stop and at least pull in and take a look at this. Paul says that God has allowed this thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. There are some people that is difficult for God to bless. It is because he wants to bless you, but there's issues of pride and issues of arrogance that has to be dealt with because God is the only one that's going to get the glory. And so he will deal with people in their pride. Thinking about Gideon in Judges chapter number 6, there was these Midianites, and they were 132,000 up against the 32,000 Israelites. And God comes to Gideon and says, you got too many people. You got too many people. And he begins to show him the reason why I can't give you the three. This is what he says. He says, lest you say that you did this, I can't. And so the pride was the first hindrance of victory. I know a lot of talented people. I know a lot of influential people, but they've got some pride that will run you out of town. And if you are not careful, you'll be able to see their demise. Goeth before destruction, and a haughty heart before a fall. And so when Paul recognizes, I've been given abundance of revelations. I've got skills and insights and this, that, and the other. He said, but I got a thorn in my flesh. I've got a problem. I've got an issue. I've got this thing that buffets me that comes from Satan himself. Look at verse number 8 of Second Corinthians 12. For this thing I besought the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I said, Lord, help me with this. Help me with this. Paul is doing great things all over the world, and seeing God move in mighty areas, seeing revelations that nobody else saw. But yet, I got an issue. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? Yeah, I remember her. Uh, Blood leaving her body, um, and it was a constant flow. And literally, she was dying. Blood is important, and she lost this every day. She was just, and I was meditating over this, thinking about it. I said, "This is killing her. This is killing her. This thing." Paul says, "This challenge, this messenger of Satan." Is killing me every single day. This attitude, this disposition, my fault. And the woman, she had an issue of blood. For me means I'm seriously sick of you every day. Write it down. I'm seriously sick of you every day. That's an issue. Whether it's an anger issue, whether it's a kleptomaniac issue, whether it's a lying spirit, no matter what it is, it's an issue. And if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. Paul does that. He says, I sought the Lord 3 times that this thing might leave me. And this is what he said in verse number 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. My grace is enough. The goodness of God is enough. You don't have to necessarily be delivered, Paul, but you do have to recognize that there is grace enough for you. And he said it, my grace is sufficient for you because my strength is made complete in your weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, Paul says, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. He says, I want to glory in the fact that I got challenges. I got weaknesses. I got things that I don't like about myself. And I need God to help me. And I'm weak. When I'm weak, he becomes strong because my dependency is upon him. And I'm saying today, God, if you don't help me, if you don't show up and show out, if you don't help me, then I don't know what's going to happen. It's time for us to humble ourselves and recognize areas of weakness and turn that thing over to God. God, you know I got issues. You know that this thing is if it does not get dealt with, it's going to kill me. And your dependency, my leaning upon the Lord, looking unto him, is something that releases the strength of God to come to your aid. But as long as you feel like you can handle it, God, how much you can handle it. Look at verse number 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, Paul says, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Paul says I'm going through some stuff, and it's attributed to my pursuit of God. I'm going through some difficulties, some challenges. I'm going through some issues, and they are just that: reproaches, persecutions, necessities. I got needs. And it's all about for Christ's sake. Then it's for when I'm not on the mountaintop, when I'm not all of that, when I don't feel like I'm more than a conqueror, then when I am weak, then I am strong. It's a contradiction, isn't it? It's a paradox. But Paul understands that when he recognizes his weakness, his inability, then and then only does God bring his strength. Verse 11 says this of 2 Corinthians 12, I am become a fool in glorying, for ye compelled me, for I ought to have been commended of you, for in nothing am I behind in the very chiefest of apostles, though I be nothing. Paul says, if you really want to talk, I can talk to you about my pedigree. I can talk to you about where I've been and where I'm going and the stuff that I've been through to such a degree that you ought to sit and listen. But he says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you this, that when I'm weak, then he is strong. And the moment that you begin to recognize that, the moment the Spirit of God comes upon you, because you recognize without him, I can do nothing, but with things are possible. I got to go. I got to go. I'm Dr. Charles Kent with another Word Fitly Spoken. God bless you.